The immediate challenges for the Afghan government, especially Afghan unity government, include, I think, in a number of areas, such as the peace process, which has been talked about, I think, by many people who are interested in Afghan issues, and also for the Afghan government as well, and for the leadership of the new leadership of Afghan unity government. And this is the peace process. I mean, then comes security, which is very much linked with the peace process, and also funding of our security forces for the long term, given the size and the number of our security forces right now on the ground. Economy is the whole kind of national economy. Fiscal stability is another huge challenge for the new government. And I think the issue of some of the human rights violators who have still power and their, I would say, their grip on power. The narcotics, the poppy, is another national issue for us. So if you look into current Afghanistan, what the current government has inherited from the past, I don't say that these were all challenges which were kind of given over or handed over to the new government intentionally, but I think these were a number of challenges which existed and the new government inherited. And I think the current government needs to come up with some practical ways of tackling and dealing with these challenges, and make sure that we find ways to turn these challenges into opportunities. What we need to do in Afghanistan is to bring more reforms at the macro, I would say, micro and many levels in terms of our financial institutions and the way Afghanistan should manage its financial and economic, resources in the future. Because without bringing those reforms, you cannot identify, I think, those potential sources for revenue collection. Yeah? So I think if you want to lessen your dependency on international aid, so you have to focus a lot on revenue generation and revenue collection. So for that, you need to bring then reforms right from Kabul down to the provinces and the districts. I think a reasonable and logical dependency on international aid until a time Afghanistan slowly and gradually, I think, moves on with reforms, with changes, and establishing its systems that will account for every single, I think, Afghani and dollar that's put into it, and then make sure it's able to pay for the salaries of its own public sector, and also the army, the security sector as a whole, and also part of that money should be planned to achieve its development goals and objectives. Because Afghanistan is on the agenda of the international community, but the international community would also like to see this government is functioning, and the government is delivering, and the government is in full shape and in its full capacity. These are, I think, things which concern both our partners in the international community and as well as our people inside the country. So basically, yes, I mean, if things change, I think in the next few weeks, that would make my sense of optimism, I think, more and more. Otherwise, I'm also a citizen of Afghanistan, and I'm really passionate about seeing Afghanistan progress and develop and advance. Because at the end of the day, we have also learned that throughout our basically, contacts with with today's world and international community, that we cannot find any countries in the world that have achieved its development goals, or their development goals, or they have made progress, or they have advanced without having strong state institutions. So on one side, we want to promote the idea of building strong state institutions to basically create the space of confidence and trust between the public and the state. And at the same time, so we would like to see that our international partners, let's say for a predictable, I think, time frame in the future, should remain engaged with Afghanistan in order to basically, I think, achieve some of the idealistic or even realistic goals we have set for the country in terms of stability and prosperity in the future. So I think given the amount of, again, interest, to summarize it, given the amount of interest that I see still in Afghanistan and the passion that exists amongst Afghans for a better future, for a brighter future, for a stable Afghanistan, and as well as I think the vision of our leaders for making Afghanistan progress. So these are all together or come together that would make me optimistic about the future.